Most people love the extraordinary, don't they? Which is why we crave science fiction stories that stretch our imaginations. But while we marvel at fictional superheroes and fantastical worlds, we often overlook the astonishing realities in the animal kingdom. Some animals and insects possess powers that rival those of any superhero. Imagine creatures that can shapeshift, achieve immortality, become invisible to predators, or generate lethal electricity. Many of the surprising gifts animals have are defensive, and they're not something you want to experience firsthand. These powers are rare, absurd, unlike things you've ever imagined but wish to have. These natural marvels make the wild world as thrilling and dangerous as any fantasy. These are the top 10 superhero animals. I know what you're thinking. This fish looks quite normal. But that's where you're wrong. Archerfish are incredible creatures. They lurk under the surface of the water in rivers and seas, waiting for an insect to land on the plants above. Then suddenly, and with unbelievable accuracy, they squirt out a stream of water that strikes down the insect. The insect falls, and by the time it hits the water, the archerfish is already waiting in place, ready to swallow it up. You have to marvel at a creature that excels at what seems like such an improbable hunting strategy: death by water pistol, squirt. Technically, the term archerfish doesn't refer to a single species of fish, but to a family of 7 different freshwater fish that fall under the genus Toxotes. If that isn't impressive enough, consider this. When these archerfish squirt water, their eyes are underwater. If you spent any time in a swimming pool, you'll know that light bends when it enters water. A less astute fish might not correct for this bending of light and would be tricked into thinking that the insect is somewhere it isn't. But not the archerfish. This little aquatic physicist is able to seamlessly correct for the bending of light. And it isn't a minor correction. When the perceived angle of the target is 45 degrees, its true angle is off by as much as 25 degrees. And it gets better. Spit doesn't fly in a straight line because the earth pulls it down. The archerfish understands this. It's able to correct for how gravity bends the spit's path. Imagine a fish that can calculate physics equations in real time, underwater, and hit its target with pinpoint precision. The octopus is one of nature's most extraordinary creatures, equipped with a suite of superpowers that rival any fictional superhero. When threatened, an octopus can instantly change its color and texture to blend seamlessly with its surroundings. Using specialized skin cells called chromatophores, it can produce a mesmerizing array of colors and patterns, effectively rendering itself invisible to both predators and prey. But it doesn't stop there. The octopus also has cells called iridophores and leucophores that reflect light, adding another layer of deception. Beyond its camouflage abilities, the octopus possesses an astonishing intelligence. They can solve complex puzzles, navigate mazes, and even use tools. Some species have been observed collecting coconut shells or rocks to build shelters, showcasing a level of problem-solving and foresight that is rare in the animal kingdom. In addition to their camouflage and intelligence, octopuses are masters of escape. When threatened, they can eject a cloud of ink to confuse predators and make a quick getaway. The ink not only obscures the predator's view, but also contains compounds that dull the predator's sense of smell, further aiding in the octopus's escape. And if an octopus is caught, it can detach and regrow a limb, a regenerative ability that seems almost magical. But perhaps the most alien-like of all its abilities is the octopus's capacity for shapeshifting. With no rigid skeleton, an octopus can squeeze through incredibly tight spaces, fitting its entire body through openings as small as a coin. This flexibility, combined with its camouflage skills, makes the octopus a nearly unstoppable force in its underwater world. Each time I look into the sky, I think about if aliens were watching us from somewhere far, far away, they would probably be utterly bemused by our fascination with pretty, flashing, and very expensive light shows. We humans can't help it. We're just fascinated with sparkly lights. But we're not alone, as the ingenious hunting method of the cuttlefish above demonstrates. When threatened, a cuttlefish can change its colors instantaneously to blend in with its environment. It does this by projecting colors on its skin, sort of like how color television projects images. A cuttlefish has maybe 10 million little color cells in its skin, and each one of them is controlled by a neuron. If you turn some on but leave others switched off, you can create patterns. Highly pigmented organs called chromatophores are capable of directly displaying bright reds, yellows, browns, and blacks through the cuttlefish's skin, whichever hue best blends in with the environment around it. But camouflage isn't the cuttlefish's only trick. In addition to their ability to use camouflage to sneak up on prey, they flash several colors and waves of light toward their prey, apparently to hypnotize it. They then strike with their feeding tentacles and pull the prey toward their beaked mouths. Imagine being mesmerized by a dazzling light show, only to be suddenly captured. This eerie method of hunting makes the cuttlefish a true master of deception. When threatened by predators, cuttlefish produce ink that confuses the potential predators and allows the cuttlefish to escape. Any individuals that do not immediately escape can perfectly mimic the color and texture of the ink in an attempt to hide in plain sight. These cephalopods are not only artists of disguise, but also strategic escape artists, making them one of the ocean's most fascinating and elusive creatures. Recorded in 2018 in its hunting dive or stoop at a speed of 242 miles per hour, Falco peregrinus is at least 10 miles per hour quicker than the fastest Ferrari, 40 miles per hour faster than its nearest avian competitor, the golden eagle, and well over 3 times faster than the cheetah, which at 68 miles per hour is the fastest land animal on Earth. Found on every continent other than Antarctica in the New Zealand group of islands, peregrine falcons achieve these remarkable speeds while honing in on and taking fast and agile prey, such as doves and pigeons. Recent research has confirmed that peregrine falcons aren't simply diving at terminal velocity to take prey by surprise. The high speed generated in the stoop enables the production of higher aerodynamic forces for maneuvering, allowing these exceptional apex predators to catch birds more adept at evading their nemesis at slower speeds. Another interesting question that people might point out is, how is the body of the peregrine falcon adapted to perform a stoop at this speed? The falcon has special adaptations in its nostrils, which allow it to breathe at such tremendous speed. Each nostril contains a rod and 2 fins behind it. As air rushes past the nostrils, the flow is broken up and slowed by the rods and fins, which enable the falcon to breathe normally without being overwhelmed by the force at which air enters its nostrils. Moreover, the eyes of the peregrine falcon are designed so that the falcon has a clear view of its prey throughout the dive. Each eye is equipped with a nictitating membrane, which protects it from dust and other debris in the air, and an additional secretory gland to prevent drying up of the cornea. Analysis of the flight trajectory of a falcon in a controlled environment shows it experiencing load factors up to 3G, and further predictions suggest this could be increased up to almost 10G during high-speed pullout. This can be attributed to the high maneuverability promoted by lift-generating vortical structures over the wing. You know that character that just has every power possible? That's your neighborhood cat right there. Every possible trait of specialty: jumping, super sight, strength, elasticity, super hearing. The list keeps going. But there are just 2 that are the catalyst of perfection, honed and specialized: super speed reflexes and their ability to defy gravity on a freefall. A cat's brain has the capacity to react to any stimulus within only 2070 milliseconds. For context, there are 1,000 milliseconds in a single second, meaning that your kitty can respond to something in significantly less than 1/10 of a second. Of course, different cats will have different reaction times, but they'll all fit within this time frame. Your cat's reaction time is a combination of its brain's processing speed and its ability to physically respond. As a result, it's important to also know that cats can reach running speeds significantly higher than even Usain Bolt, often moving in excess of 30 miles per hour. This, combined with your cat's ability to move its arms and legs even faster when fighting, means that you're never going to be able to beat a cat in a race or move away from an angry kitty quickly enough to avoid danger. They are truly speedy creatures. Cats are natural hunters and also complete nervous wrecks. To fulfill the requirements of each of these roles, a cat needs to be fast on its feet and fast in its responses. A cat has an impressive reaction time, so that it can be better at hunting and better at protecting itself. While cat reaction times will of course vary between breeds and individuals, the main variation will come between cats that have been allowed to go outside, hunt, and explore, and those that have not. Housebound indoor cats often have slower reaction times and can't run as fast because they haven't been given the opportunity to practice. Relative to its size, the dung beetle is not only the strongest insect in the world, but the strongest animal. It can pull over 1,000 times its own body weight. If a human being were that strong, he or she would be able to pull 6 fully loaded double-decker buses all at the same time. This incredible strength is just one of the dung beetle's remarkable powers. These beetles also provide significant benefits to the ecosystem by clearing away and eating the waste of other animals. By recycling dung, they help to enrich the soil with essential nutrients, promoting plant growth and improving soil health. Dung beetles are also navigational experts. Some species have been shown to use the Milky Way for orientation, a rare skill in the animal kingdom. This celestial navigation allows them to move in straight lines away from dung piles, efficiently transporting their precious cargo to a safe location for consumption or breeding. These beetles are diverse, with thousands of species adapted to various environments around the world. They thrive in a range of climates, from deserts to forests, each species perfectly adapted to its unique habitat. Their adaptability and resilience are key to their success as ecological engineers. The life cycle of a dung beetle is also fascinating. After rolling a dung ball to a suitable location, they bury it and lay eggs inside. When the larvae hatch, they have a ready food source, ensuring their survival and growth. This life cycle not only benefits the beetles, but also continues the cycle of nutrient recycling in the soil. The pistol shrimp possesses one of the most astonishing superpowers in the animal kingdom. These sharp-shooting crustaceans are far from quiet. Their bubbles have measured in at 218 decibels, which is louder than a speeding bullet. To us humans, the sound isn't actually that loud, but that's due to the blast only lasting a tiny fraction of a second. What makes the pistol shrimp's ability truly remarkable is the heat generated when these bubbles collapse. When the bubble pops, it generates heat that reaches 8,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 times hotter than lava. This incredible heat dissipates rapidly, so there are no lasting effects, except to the unfortunate small creature that felt its burn. The shockwave from this bubble burst is powerful enough to stun or even kill the shrimp's prey, making it an effective and deadly hunting tool. The pistol shrimp's unique claw is the source of this extraordinary power. It snaps shut at such a high velocity that it creates a cavitation bubble. This bubble quickly collapses, releasing a burst of energy in the form of heat and sound. This rapid snapping action and the resultant shockwave are used not only for hunting, but also for communication and defense against predators. The shrimp's ability to generate such intense heat and sound in an underwater environment is a fascinating example of nature's ingenuity. This combination of speed, sound, and heat showcases the pistol shrimp's remarkable adaptation for survival. Electric eels possess one of the most extraordinary superpowers in the animal kingdom. These remarkable creatures have thousands of special cells called electrocytes that can store energy like a battery and then discharge it. When an eel hunts, it uses this high-voltage charge to disable the muscles of a fish, similar to the effects of a taser gun, before sucking the fish into its mouth. The eels can also use the charge to protect themselves against predators, such as caiman. Despite being virtually blind and swimming in murky waters, electric eels use their finely tuned electric senses to navigate and hunt. They detect echoes from a pair of low-voltage pulses, functioning much like radar. Suddenly and unexpectedly, the eel sends out a 660-volt electric pulse. To put this in perspective, in the United States, the plug in your wall carries 120 volts. It was once thought that these pulses simply stunned random prey, but recent research has revealed a much more sophisticated mechanism. The eel can totally inactivate its prey in just 3 milliseconds, completely paralyzing the fish. Experiments have shown that the eel has tuned its electric effect to trigger its prey's nervous system, hijacking the movement of every muscle in the fish's body, by mimicking the signals carried by its neural network. This includes revealing the prey's location and smothering any reflex to escape. Once the fish is immobilized, the eel moves in for the kill, unleashing a volley of electric shocks to send the fish into deep spasms before sinking its teeth into the out-of-control flesh. The study notes that when the eel's electric pulses slowed down as it tired, fish were observed twitching in time with each pulse, revealing that the eel was reaching into the prey's nervous system to control its muscles. Electric eels are truly nature's electric predators, combining sensory acuity with lethal electric discharges to dominate their murky aquatic environments. Their ability to generate and control electricity not only ensures their survival, but also makes them one of the most fascinating and formidable hunters in the animal world. The mantis shrimp wields some of the most formidable powers in the animal kingdom, packing a mean punch that can smash its victim's shells with the force of a .22 caliber bullet. This incredible strength doesn't come from powerful muscles, but from its naturally spring-loaded arms, allowing it to swing its fist-like clubs at speeds up to 23 meters per second. This mechanism works because of a two-layer structure. The top layer is made of a ceramic material similar to bone, and the bottom layer consists mostly of plastic-like biopolymers. Peacock mantis shrimp use these hammer-like appendages to smash open snail shells for food. High-speed imaging has revealed that their mouthparts can reach maximum speeds from 12 to 23 meters per second in water. This extraordinary speed causes the water to cavitate, meaning it vaporizes when the limb strikes the prey. Cavitation is a destructive phenomenon. When these vapor bubbles collapse, they cause a small implosion in the water, producing heat, light, and sound. For each predatory strike, the mantis shrimp acts like a jackhammer, with a series of force peaks from the impact of the first appendage, the collapse of the first cavitation bubble, and then the impact of the second appendage and the collapse of the second cavitation bubble. All of this occurs in less than 800 microseconds, with peak forces of 1,500 newtons, over 2,500 times the animal's body weight. In addition to their incredible punching power, mantis shrimp possess extraordinary vision. Their eyes can detect polarized light and see 10 times more color than humans, allowing them to perceive an array of colors and details invisible to the human eye. This combination of physical power and visual acuity makes the mantis shrimp a remarkable and deadly predator in the ocean depths. It's one thing to survive in harsh environments, but quite another to hit the reset button when faced with an imminent threat. Only one animal is known to have this remarkable ability, a species of jellyfish. Let's call this Turritopsis dohrnii bob as we go through this journey. The number one superpower in the animal kingdom belongs to none other than the jellyfish, specifically Bob. Unlike any other creature, Bob possesses the remarkable ability to cheat death. Like all jellyfish, Bob begins life as a larva called a planula, which develops from a fertilized egg. A planula swims at first, then settles on the seafloor and grows into a cylindrical colony of polyps. These ultimately spawn free-swimming, genetically identical medusae, the animals we recognize as jellyfish, which grow to adulthood in a matter of weeks. Fully grown, Bob is only about 4.5 millimeters, 0.18 inches, across, smaller than a pinky nail. A bright red stomach is visible in the middle of its transparent bell, and the edges are lined with up to 90 white tentacles. These tiny, transparent creatures have an extraordinary survival skill. In response to physical damage or even starvation, they take a leap back in their development process, transforming back into a polyp. In a process that looks remarkably like immortality, the born-again polyp colony eventually buds and releases medusae that are genetically identical to the injured adult. Since this phenomenon was first observed in the 1990s, the species has come to be called the immortal jellyfish. The cellular mechanism behind this, a rare process known as transdifferentiation, is of particular interest to scientists for its potential applications in medicine. By undergoing transdifferentiation, an adult cell, one that is specialized for a particular tissue, can become an entirely different type of specialized cell, It's an efficient way of cell recycling and an important area of study in stem cell research that could help scientists replace cells that have been damaged by disease. As for Bob, this jelly is not only an extraordinary survivor, but also an increasingly aggressive invader. Marine species have long been known to hitch rides around the world in the ballast of ships. Researchers have recently identified the immortal jellyfish as an excellent hitchhiker, particularly well-suited to surviving long trips on cargo ships. Bob's ability to avoid death and thrive in new environments makes it one of the most remarkable and resilient creatures on Earth. While they might not be your super character fiction, these animals have incredible powers that just make you wonder. From the immortal jellyfish resetting its life cycle to the electric eel delivering high-voltage shocks, nature is filled with creatures that possess abilities we can only dream of. Remember that the true superpowers might just be found in the creatures sharing our planet. They lurk in the depths of the ocean, soar through the skies, and even scuttle through the underbrush. Each one a testament to the incredible power of evolution and the endless possibilities of life itself. The real superheroes are out there, and their stories are far from over.